Hello everybody, my name is Luke Mar and this is Harlow Mode, and today on Harlow Mode we are coming to you with the MTV Video Music Awards Red Carpet Roast, and this is a roast with a capital R, for 2022. And like, to be completely honest, I feel like I've cleaned up my act a lot, but like, this was a goddamn shit show. I don't even mean it was a shit show because it was necessarily like so horrible. It was just so boring and uninteresting. I can't believe that it happened. So without further ado, let's just get right into it and we'll get it over. You know what I mean? It's like a rotten tooth, just like rip it out. Personally, I prefer a lot of Novocaine. First up, we had Anitta, and she is wearing Schiaparelli. Now this is from the Schiaparelli Haute Couture collection. This was the finale look from the fall 2022 Haute Couture collection. It is a corset in a red silk with visible boning, but it's an asymmetrical corset, so in reality it actually exposes one side of the breast and a little bit of cleavage. And then it is a fitted skirt that falls down to the floor. She's wearing a big tall shoe, it's a little metallic-y leather strappy shoe and a tight. Okay. And then the piece de resistance really comes through in this piece of jewelry. And now, if you don't know anything about Schiaparelli, body sort of parts, organs, orifices, appendages, all very much so part of the Schiaparelli jewelry world. So what Daniel Roseberry, who is the creative director of Schiaparelli, did was take like a sort of coronary artery situation, put it over the top of where the heart is, and then sort of showcase it in a very intriguing manner. It's very anatomically correct, not really your usual like heart. Honestly, for Anitta, I think it's nice. I think it's a nice look. Happy that she got the finale look from Schiaparelli. It's intriguing. It plays into Schiaparelli house tropes and house codes. It's asymmetrical, but I'm not necessarily wowed. It's just a runway look that she carried. She looks great. She could have worn it on the runway and that's amazing. But like, I think with the makeup and the hair and all of that, we could have done something to bring it a little bit more to life. Like, I think we've hit the point where it's like, you can't just take something off the runway and then be like, okay, I wore it, everybody clap for me. And that's with everybody, it's not just Anitta. I like Anitta a lot. But like a wet hair look, why didn't we like drips of blood? Why didn't we do, I don't know, I'm not a stylist, I'm not a makeup artist, I'm not a hairdresser, I'm not somebody putting together image direction for a celebrity, but like, do something a little bit interesting. A little bit intriguing. It's the VMAs, you know what I mean? Like, you can go a little bit kooky crazy, a little bit memorable. And listen, this is a memorable look. I remember it from the runway on the VMAs red carpet because of the lack of anything really done to it. It's not going to be that memorable here in this moment, and that's unfortunate because it's a great look. Next up, we have Blackpink. Now, it's the members Lisa, Jisoo, Jennie, and Rosé. Here's my thing about it. Each of them is wearing the brand that they are very much so house ambassadors for. So you have Lisa, and she is wearing Celine. It is essentially a strapless gown with a little cutout in the middle. There's some sort of pendant, falls to the floor. Not really interesting, not really intriguing, not really memorable. But, if it's Celine, it's like, it can be kind of simple. Eddie Slimane has set it up that way. So, okay. Next up, we have Jisoo. She's an ambassador for Dior. So you have a guipure, very Maria Grazia at Dior dress, floral bodice situation. There's a belt, because of course there's a goddamn belt. And then a silk floral printed skirt that has like nothing to do with the lace at the top. And I just say, why couldn't we just do all lace? Like, no, we had to do that. And then the Dior belt, it has like a little C and a D on it. And it's like, I get it, it's Dior. Monsieur Dior did not put his name on his belts, so on the red carpet you don't have to either. Thank you. Then we have Jennie. She's wearing a little halter neck style. It's in black with some like silver little buttons that are stars. Yes, 5-pointed star. Coco Chanel was a Leo. The Abbey at Abozine. Do house codes all day long. It's not intriguing enough, not interesting enough. Like, it's not, like, does Jennie even know about the mosaics at the Abbey of Abozine? I don't know. I would hope so. Probably not. Nobody really does. I will say I do like the fact that it's a crop top, and I love that skirt. I love the way that it sort of cuts in, exposes the belly button. I think it's really, really nice. The skirt fits really, really well. It flares out pretty decently. Like, I actually do enjoy that element. And then on the far end, we have Rosé. She's wearing Saint Laurent. It's a turtleneck sort of cocktail dress. It has a little sort of front sash flowing out. It fits her. That's great. A dress should. But again, Not really memorable, not really interesting, not really something that anybody would say, oh, yes, most famous girl group in the world, of course, iconic. No, that, for some reason that didn't happen. The other thing is they released a song called Pink Venom. It's doing really, really well. Why are we not wearing pink? I get it. The VMAs were not celebrating Pink Venom as a song, but like, we have another song that's coming out. You know, it's out. So why not wear pink? Pink Venom. Maybe I'm the crazy one. Maybe I don't make any sense, but like, all gonna wear the same color. Let's do black. Next up we have Chloe Bailey. She's wearing Zigman. It actually fits her really, really nicely. I think the design is a bit rudimentary. You know, it's like a bodice that's sheer, there's bra cups, it's full of sequins, there's some sort of like drape situation going on at the skirt and then a slit. It's just very like, I've seen this from Chloe 40 million times, I feel like at this point, so it's just not interesting. Do I think it actually looks like pretty well constructed? Like it looks clean, it looks really, really nice in that context. Yes, absolutely. Like, genuinely, I can look at that and say like, whoever made that, you should pat yourself on the back, because it really does look professionally done and like not slap, stick, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, last minute like some of the other girls today. So love that. Do I think the design is just kind of like not memorable? Who's ever going to think about this ever again? Absolutely. But I will say, well made, which I can appreciate. Next up we have Chloe Fineman, and she's wearing 3S4. Pretty hideous. I don't know what's going on here. It's essentially like a bunch of quilted fabrics done in like asymmetric line works. It's just not great. It's too costume. 3S4 is like an up and coming brand, but it's like too Halloween, what, 2 months early? It's not great. I know that like certain things, like the trim of this is like done with like M&Ms or candy, and it's like, yes, I get it, Chloe Fineman's on SNL, but like leave the jokes to, I don't know, the writer's room, not the dress. The dress shouldn't be the joke. A dress can be ironic, but it should also be chic and smart when it's ironic. This looks frumpy and dumpy and like a waste of everybody's time. So, cue the laugh track. Next up we have Conan Gray, and Conan is wearing a look from Harris Reed's Spring 2022 collection. It is very Harris Reed. It's essentially a fitted bolero jacket style that from underneath these sort of curved little sections that go underneath the lapel and sort of come down the front. You can see that there is little bits of chiffon that is trimmed in a white lace that sort of flow out, create a train. Reimagine the whole idea of suiting, you know, bringing feminine and masculine elements together. There's a high-waisted pant and then some sort of big old boot, probably like a Harris Reed X Roker Atelier, and Roker Atelier is sort of a London-based brand that does a lot of the shoes for a lot of up-and-coming British brands. I like it. I think it's nice. I think it's cool. It's a great look. I think that it does what it needs to do. I'm happy about it. Gorge. Next up we have Dixie D'Amelio. You know what? This is shocking, but Dixie is like not the worst dressed today. Proud of her. We have her wearing a black halter neck. This is like a rhinestone halter neck Alexandre Vautier gown. It looks honestly like really nice. I think the halter neck style looks really, really good on her. It makes her a little bit more like severe looking, but I think that's okay. I do think the dress fits really, really well, which I also think is nice. I'm not sure if she like bought this or if it was loaned to her, but whoever did the tailoring on this, like, good for you. The sort of draped element that goes from like the top of the right side of her waist down to like the end or the middle of her thigh is fine, and also like if you don't zoom in you don't have to see it, so that's always really helpful. And then it falls, it hits the floor nicely. I think it's like a nice dress. Do I want more from Dixie? Absolutely, but like when she tries to do more, I'm also uncomfortable. So fits, I'll take it at this point. But again, like, are we seeing what I'm saying where like this is just kind of blah? Like, well, like, I don't really want to have to film this video, but like we gotta film this video, but like, You know what I mean? Like, it's just not, nothing's happening. Next up we have Dove Cameron. She's wearing Paco Rabanne, and no, it looks like Forever 21. She's wearing essentially a black leather belt choker. She's wearing a black sort of bra top that's connected to this jacquard floral dress, and then there's a belt around the waist. It's just not really interesting. It feels very, I went to Spencer's, and then across from Spencer's at the mall is also Forever 21. So I picked up a floral dress from Forever 21, and then with my Spencer's accessories, we just combined everything. And I don't get why Dove didn't do something more like intriguing, because she's been like having moments where it's like, over the top and kind of kooky and like a little bit pushing it. And it's like, where's that? What is this? No. Like, we need something intriguing. Again, it's the VMAs, like, do something that people are gonna remember. The costumes on Descendants were more interesting. Next up we have J Balvin. He's wearing Louis Vuitton. It's a white oversized suit. I actually kind of like it. I think the jacket is intriguing. It fits nicely. It's meant to be oversized, but I think the fact that the right lapel sort of comes through and like goes through a slit on the left side of the jacket is really cool. I like the way that whoever's doing LV in the wake of Virgil, or if this is from Virgil's last collection, I like the fact that, again, like the suit is being sort of played with, toyed with, tweaked and twisted in ways that I think make it more interesting and memorable. It's subtle little changes to traditional tailoring. It's noticeable, and I'm grateful for it. Little white dove, I think, is like a nice sort of touch to the way that it sort of asymmetrically works when it hits the end of the jacket also, like I'm not opposed with. And then the pants. Listen, they're a bit baggy, but I think they're meant to be. I wish the shoes were something a little bit different, and I wish that they'd tailor the pants just a little bit differently too, just because like the way that they fold over like that, you know, it's not the best, but I appreciate that we at least went with the continued oversized experience. I appreciate this from J Balvin. I think it's nice. Could be better, absolutely, but I think it's nice. Next up we have Jack Harlow. He's wearing Hermes, which you do not see on the red carpet that often, so like when it happens, you're like, oh shit. Listen, this is from the spring 2023 menswear collection, and my thing is, Jack Harlow f***ed this up, or his stylist f***ed this up, because on the runway, this look is hot. Like, it's hot. Like, I'm gonna say inappropriate things, I'm not gonna say it on camera, but I would do really bad things to the leather set. And also the look that this comes with has a pink little button-down shirt, because that's what this is. This is a button-down shirt that essentially can like be asymmetrically moved to create this turtleneck effect. It was pink on the runway, and now it's like a chocolatey brown, and I just feel like the pink would have worked so well. Like, we didn't have to change it. The other thing is, whoever styled him, why did you button both buttons on the goddamn blazer? I'm confused. I'm like, we all know. Listen, I'm not a stylist, but like, I know you don't open the second button at the bottom. Like, that's like the rule. Everybody knows the rule. Like, that's what stylists, they know these things, or at least they're supposed to know these things, because whoever closed that on him, it doesn't look good. Doesn't. Absolutely ruined the jacket, and the jacket was open on the runway, and it was so much hotter on the runway. The other thing is the pants. Whoever fitted this, disturbing, should be brought up on charges, because what was done from those pants on the runway that fell so cleanly, so crisply, even as the model moved and walked down the runway, to that, the little swags of unfittedness, the way that it hits the boots, it's criminal. Disgraziato. It's giving me agita. How could you do that to that beautiful suit? I know it wasn't Hermes. They're not messy like that. They know what the f is going on. They make beautiful products. That I will say. Nadezhda Venhy-Cybulski is not that girl. She delivers in every way. So I'm gonna put this on Jack Harlow and or his team. Like, I'm upset for the suit. It deserves better. I'm calling CPS. Clothing Protective Services, because something needs to be investigated here. Next up we have Kerri Colby. She's wearing Mugler. Listen, do I think the mesh here is like perfect in terms of like skin tone matching? No, but I think it's pretty damn good. I think the red actually really works. I like the way that it moves down. I like the fact that we match the shoes. They're like a little bit strappy, they're a little bit intriguing, they're angular, they're geometric. It looks really nice. I like the fact that we're doing this sort of off the shoulder red sort of style, and then we have a little pelvic cutout and all that stuff. Jazz works, cute, enjoyable, love it, gorgeous, stunning, thank you. Appreciate it, nice. Not so crazy, not so kooky, not so memorable, but at least something. Also, I don't think she's wearing underwear, and I think that that adds an even better aspect. That's real deal. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, I really went for it. I like it. Next up we have Lil Nas X. He's wearing Harris Reed. Now this is from the fall 2022 Harris Reed collection. Now you guys all know, and you remember when Iman wore that little beautiful gold look for the Met Gala for 2021. That's pretty much what's going on here, but instead we have a sort of black style. It's a high-waisted Harris Reed sort of classic pant in what looks like a sequin, full sequin, very small sequin. A lot of time went into embroidering that. But we have this sort of big feather crown that spans out, and then we have a cage sort of crinoline style that, instead of being covered in sort of petticoats, aka sort of skirts that would essentially look like, you know, a real sort of big old skirt, what has been done is the caged crinoline part has been wrapped or have feathers placed all over it to sort of create almost like a black Christmas tree effect, but like a fake Christmas tree. You know what I mean? Like the ones that like your parents are like, it's so much easier to use this. And I'm like, okay, I like plastic lovers. I'm digressing with the fake Christmas tree. But you know what I mean? Like it has that sort of effect of like big and bountiful. I like it. Lil Nas X can't really do anything crazy, kooky, over the top that's unexpected now at this point. But I like the fact that he was nominated for Industry Baby, which he was like literally naked in it. And I like the fact that he went for something that was like shirtless. I feel like it correlates to the music video. In that regard, it works. I appreciate Lil Nas X. He very rarely does wrong in my life. So I say thank you, sir. Next up we have Lili Reinhart. She is wearing Fendi. This is a look from the spring 2022 ready-to-wear collection. It is made up of a sort of mock neck style, a keyhole cutout, and then a embroidered meshy mesh that has a bunch of different motifs. So there are little sort of facial motifs done in and around it. There's a sort of lipstick situation going down the sleeves, and then lace. That again has some sort of like motif of feminine women. I think it's okay. I think it's fine. Like honestly, I don't think it's the worst dress I've ever seen in my entire life. I like Kim's sort of more conservative fits, like the fact that it has a collar, but it has a keyhole, but it also is like fully covered at the body, but the sleeves are kind of exposed. And like, I think there's an interesting element to it. Do I think it's like amazing, super memorable? No. But do I think that it fits her nicely? Like, sure. Next up, we have Lizzo. She's wearing Jean Paul Gaultier Haute Couture by Glenn Martens, which was the spring 2022 Haute Couture collection. I love it. I'm so happy about it. It's an off-the-shoulder, gigantic taffeta gown. It's blue, wrinkled, like creased, pleated taffeta. It's gigantic. It doesn't make any sense, but I love every second of it. Also, I think Lizzo is a great example today of like letting your makeup also tell an interesting story. What the story is, I'm not exactly sure. But I think that it shifts Lizzo's face to also then correlate to what's going on in the dress. There's something deeper there. It is, I'm not exactly sure, but there's something there that somebody can say, ah, this is different. This is cool. Like this has something intriguing. I want to learn more. The rest of these looks, not the case. I say, how do I move on quicker? As for the dress, it is gigantic. It is oversized. It's humongous, but that's what it's meant to be. I also like the fact that Lizzo, who honestly is never afraid to do body conscious, is doing sort of an oversized style. And in reality, it's not even just like oversized suit or oversized like, you know, dress. It's like this gown is meant to be this big. It is meant to exude a sort of opulence and excessive fabric yardage. It's really cool. It's really intriguing. I like the fact that you can also like see her arms through the front. There are these sort of amorphous pieces that sort of flow out and create their own shape and create sort of odd angles and bumps and lumps, and I just love it. Lizzo is a fashion girl. Nobody can tell me any differently. I don't care to hear it because she delivers. And also like, anybody that's like, I can't, like it's so hard, I'm like, look at Lizzo. Delivers all the time. Next up we have Sabrina Carpenter, and she is wearing Moschino. Now this is a halter style with a keyhole cutout and then a sort of side cutout as well. It goes from like waist to hip. It's full of a colorful floral embroidery. Honestly, like I really don't hate it. Now this is a look from the Moschino Resort 2023 collection by Jeremy Scott. I think it looks nice. I like the headband. I think it's cute. I think it adds that like little charm to Sabrina's work. I like the fact that the beautiful pops of color in this floral embroidery is really, really lovely. I think it's different than our usual boring ass florals that look like a tapestry from the 1600s. On occasion it's fine, but like people really overdo it. At the same time, it's not like a Reformation dress. I appreciate that. I think the cutouts are like super duper risky. I think they work. I think they work really, really well. And again, I think pairing that off the headband, which normally you're like, oh my God, I'm Blair Waldorf Gossip Girl, like buttoned up, super conservative. I think that there's some sort of play there from Sabrina that I think is smart. Honestly, I like the dress. I actually think it's really, really nice. Do I wish it was more interesting and crazy and over the top? Absolutely. But if this is it, it fits nicely. Next up we have Shenseea, and she is wearing Marc Jacobs. Now this is from the, fall 2022 collection. It's essentially a denim style, I believe. Yeah, it's like a very, very light wash denim. It's a jacket and then a oversized skirt. And then it's a paillette deconstructed bralette that has excess paillette strips that run up and down. And then she's also just wearing a little, you know, kiki platform boot. Love it. Think it's great, think it's fantastic, happy to see it out and about. I think that honestly, like, she looks cool, she looks intriguing, she looks interesting. The denim makes it kind of casual, but the fact that it's also like a floor length skirt then makes it uncasual. The paillette is very intriguing, it's retro, which is very Marc Jacobs to sort of go back to places like the 60s. I think the fact that it's deconstructed and made into a belt, made into a bralette is also really cool. I think that's something that you don't really see a whole lot of when you're looking at sort of like chainmail-y, even though I know it's not chainmail, but like paillette, sort of chainmail, sort of dials. I like this, I appreciate it, it's nice. Next up, we have Sofia Carson. She is wearing Carolina Herrera. I don't know if this is off the runway, I'm not sure, but do I like it? Absolutely. I think it's actually really, really sweet. I think that a fitted gown works really, really well for her. The fact that it's probably like a black velvet that goes from underneath bust area down is nice. It allows taffeta to shine. The like slight reflection of the light off of that taffeta that sort of sits at the bust area, it lets that do its job, and then it just sort of fits. It's nice, it's enjoyable. As for the taffeta, it comes around, creates like a little, not sleeve, it creates like an area that one could put their arms through, which I guess technically is like a sleeve, but I don't think it's actually a sleeve. I love the fact that it creates volume right around the sort of elbow area and then moves into the back of the head and creates almost like a veil. I think it's very cool, I think it's very sweet. I'd like to see more of this kind of stuff from West Gordon. I think it's really smart. I think it updates the sort of Carolina Herrera woman, makes her much more intriguing, but at the same time, it feels very mantilla. It feels very sort of, I'm going to church. It feels very like Madonna, which is great. That's kind of what I want to see, but it adds an element of sort of a little bit sexy, a little bit like, oh, where's she coming from? Oh, who is she? I like her. It feels more modern. It feels more intriguing, a little bit more risky, and I think Sophia's also like pulling it off. So proud of her. And finally, the piece de resistance, none other than Taylor Swift herself, showed up. Who knew? Not me, but she did. Taylor is wearing a dress from the Oscar de la Renta Resort 2023 collection. Taylor and Oscar have a very, very long relationship, and I like the fact that when she does appear on the red carpet, at least recently, she goes to Oscar, and I think that it works. The last time she did that beautiful embroidered flower dress, still stunning, still probably, I would say, her most memorable look. But I think that this is nice. It looks like Taylor's nude underneath. I don't know if there's actually like a slip. There has to be a slip, otherwise all of that big old jewelry would be pinching and hurting. So there has to be a slip underneath, but it's almost invisible. It's virtually invisible, and I love it. I love the fact that you have these beautiful sort of swags of crystal that come down. They create a nice little element. It's chic, cute. The little strips that come around the bicep area is also nice. Do I think that it is, oh my god, iconic, over the top, like radical? No. Do I think the fact that it looks ridiculously realistic that Taylor Swift is actually wearing no clothes underneath this, do I think that is amazing? Yeah, 100%. Because I think it far stems away from what Taylor's usual image and look is. It's usually a little bit more buttoned up. It's usually a little bit more, I don't really care. I'm not trying to do like fashion. But when Taylor pulls out like, I'm trying to do a little bit of fashion, I'm trying to be a little bit risky, it works. It's nice. I think this is nice, genuinely. Do I wish it was maybe like a little bit longer? Do I wish it was maybe a little bit more dramatic? Do I maybe wish we'd done a little bit, you know, more? Yes, I do. But the fact that I genuinely can tell if Taylor Swift is actually wearing any clothes underneath is going to keep me sleeping very, very well tonight. So that is the end of this video. Let's talk about a best and a worst. Best, I'm gonna give it to Lizzo. She kind of went there. Runners up, I'm gonna give like Sofia Carson, very, very nice. Lil Nas X, very, very nice. Taylor Swift, putting her in there. As for worst dressed, Chloe Fineman, Jack Harlow, I'm really upset about that one. The Jack Harlow is really upsetting to me. And Blackpink. That's what I'm giving that to. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Were you intrigued? Were you bored? Are you gonna watch this video? I don't know. And if you don't, I get it. I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and TTYL.